Let's talk about it. This is from Evening Standard. Okay? It says Jeffrey Epstein's sinister links with Putin revealed. As y'all know, they released 3 million documents or something like that. Again, people are still combing through, as well as me. I'm sitting here linking, and I just ran across this article. Thousands of secretive messages linking Jeffrey Epstein to Vladimir Putin have been unearthed in the latest trench of Epstein files. Okay? Emails show unnamed sources discussing meetings between Epstein and Putin. The commentators suggesting Epstein could have used Russian girls in the world's largest honey trap orchestrated by the Kremlin. U.S. Secretary officials claim Epstein had long standing ties with Russian mafia, including organized crime bosses who may have been blackmailing him. One source told the Mail on Sunday, you have Andrew, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and all the rest placed in compromising positions on an island bristling with technology. I've been saying that, been saying that, been saying that. That man had that island and all of his homes rigged with video surveillance in every fucking crevice. Every crevice. Unusual. Unusual. I could see the outside of your homes, your front door, you know, but cameras everywhere, everywhere in the house. You got to spy on everybody in the house. Make it make sense. It's the world's largest honey trap operation, they go on to say. Elsewhere, the source said the Americans have been on this for years, but our lot have seemed more queasy about it, presumably because of the royal link. Millions of documents relating to Epstein have now been released by the U.S. Department of Justice, with the latest set unveiled on Friday. Over 1,000 pages name Putin, and almost 10,000 make reference to Moscow. 1,000 pages and almost 10,000 make reference to Moscow. Okay? Epstein maintained his links with Putin even after his 2008 conviction for engaging a child in prostitution. Again, let me say that. Engaging a child for prostitution. Jeffrey got hemmed up on that. Again, refresher. Alex Acosta gave him a sweetheart deal. He didn't even stay in the jail during the day. He just had to check back in the evening times. The man should have walked away from all of this. Should have left it alone. But he thought he was bigger than the program. The second time around that he got hemmed up was not going to go the way the first time around went. Let's be real. Was not going to go that way. Okay? According to an intelligence source, Epstein's Russia links were monitored by U.S. security for years, while UK agents were said to be wary due to his friendship with the then Prince Andrew, not known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Okay? The sources further allege that Epstein could have been introduced to espionage through disgraced media tycoon Robert Maxwell, the father of his longtime girlfriend, Jizzle. Connect these dots. Put these pieces together. Okay? Maxwell, a former British MP who owned the Mirror Group from 1984 to 1999, reportedly worked as a Russian asset in 1970 and helped Mossad extradite Soviet Jews to Israel. In return, he is suspected of laundering Russian money to the West with Epstein's assistance. Again, this man had no fucking background in any of this from what I read. But he was able to get in and move all these people's money and get in with all these upper echelon people. Okay? He died in a suspected suicide in 1991 when his body was discovered floating in the Atlantic after vanishing from his yacht, sparking many conspiracy theories. Also, side note, Miss Jizzle was on that yacht. the very first thing that she instructed everyone in his camp to do, her father, was to get rid of all fucking uh, paperwork, emails, anything that could link her father to Epstein. That was a big ass article that I read on my very first TikTok. Okay? The individuals named in the Epstein files deny wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's sexual abuse during the time of their acquaintances. Again, they are all reading from the same script. I just was sending emails inquiring. Once I didn't know anything. I knowing good and goddamn well they have all been at those parties. We see the emails. Again, this is another situation of don't believe what your eyes are seeing. Let's put out these statements and get ahead of this. This isn't looking good for you. We need to speak on this. Say that you distanced yourself from him. Started with Wexler, Trump, and now everyone whose names are starting to show up. No one. They all were just cool until they found out what he was all about. Lies, bullshit, and rhetoric, because y'all were sending out emails, setting up times, dates, asking if the women were blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. So you're all full of shit. Okay? One particular email dated September 11, 2011, showing an anonymous messenger discussing plans for an appointment with Putin on Epstein's next trip to Russia. The messenger writes, spoke with Igor. He said, last time you were in Palm Beach, you told him you had an appointment with Putin on September 16th, that he could go and book his tickets to Russia to arrive a few days before you. Another email from 2014 suggests another upcoming meeting with Putin. A Japanese entrepreneur, Joy, I think it's Elto, writes Epstein. Hey, Jeffrey, I wasn't able to convince Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, to change his schedule to go meet Putin with you. A follow-up email suggests the 2014 meeting was canceled in the wake of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 disaster, which saw Russian forces shoot down a passenger jet over Ukraine and kill 298 people. The documents suggest Epstein had strong influence in Russia, with one in November 2010 asking someone if they needed a Russian visa. Elsewhere, Epstein appears to message politicians on opposing sides during Trump's first term in office in 2018. He emailed Trump's ally Steve Bannon about an upcoming meeting between Secretary General of the Council of Europe, Thorbjørn Jagland, and Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, I guess. Soon afterwards, Epstein wrote to Jagland himself, suggesting Lavrov could get insight on talking to me. A report from the FBI wrote that Epstein was close to former Israel Prime Minister Ehud Barak and trained as a spy under him. Do y'all see where they're going with this? When this thing blows, it's going to blow internationally. That's why they had that man unalived, taken out, shut down. Because this next time around, the digging was going to be done by someone other than Acosta. Unalived under Trump's watch. Okay? These are international names. Big wigs, big players. Trained as a spy under him. FBI source also revealed Epstein was in close contact with Marsha Dorkova, a former lead of Putin's youth club and one of his staunchest supporters. Her company, Day One Ventures in Silicon Valley, was accused by intelligence operatives of being set up to steal technology. Okay? And that is where the article ends. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of shit is coming out. It's going to be a lot of things discovered over the next few days. It's a mess. And it's an international mess. And it is a huge mess full of billionaires, millionaires, and just rich-ass people who were playing a very dirty game with children, boys and girls. And it's time that this shit got blown up. And if they're calling it a honeypot, that means someone is being blackmailed. Later.